2009. godine maštao samo da budem pijanist, ja u stvari nikad u životu nisam maštao ničem drugom. To je jedino što sam se htio baviti cijeli život. My first contact with the piano was when I was 8. I remember my best friend Alexander, he had an upright piano at his house, and I was always really intrigued and really impressed with this instrument. And I remember I was always trying to perform something and to play. And by the age of 9, I persuaded my mom and my parents to enroll me in a music school, which was quite unusual because normally it's like parents who push the children, and in this case it was the other way around. And I was always interested with the instrument, and since I joined and since I started the music school, I always dreamed that I'm going to be a concert pianist performer as I'm today. But I must say I was very like other children who many of the times I would prefer to play with my friends on football or to do some games in the outside rather than practice. But when it was coming to the performance and interpretation, I was always very drawn and very, very impressed with the fact when you're on stage, when you communicate with the audience, it was something which was intriguing me since the beginnings. The first time when I heard the grenades, I was 15 when this war started, and it was autumn. And we heard the siren as a warning for the first time in my life, and we all knew what's happening and what we need to do. So all my family and we went to the shelter in the basement of my house, and we went there, and we didn't go out for 7 days. It was the biggest attack on my hometown, and I think on average it was 1,000 grenades a day, which was extremely dangerous. The problem was we were underneath and we didn't have any contact with outside world, so I think when you don't have a knowledge of what's happening outside, that's really frightening, because we didn't know how we conquered, did the Serbs go into the town, or we didn't know what's happening, and that was very terrifying. And I know at first we were all petrified, and especially my parents, because obviously, they were much more worried about themselves and about the children. But because the war was quite long, it was for 4 years, I think you can't just stop living, you need to find something which will, help you to go through this period. And I think every one of us found, some hobbies or some things to do and to occupy his mind just to escape from this situation. And I remember for me it was my piano, and during all these terrible, and very dangerous times, I used to practice for many hours a day, because it was like my refuge. It was my, I felt so secure when I was practicing, and it was like kind of my escape, which actually helped me to go through this terrible situation. And I remember when we came there, everyone was quite surprised, because everyone knew that in Šibenik was like a pure hell. Music school wasn't open, there was so many grenades and very dangerous, so everyone was kind of surprised, where did you practice, how come you came to this competition? And I remember I did my best, I really performed, the best I can do, and it was such a surprise to them. They stopped the competition and they announced me the absolute winner of the competition. As of course it came as a huge shock for me and my teacher. I remember we went outside in like a hallway in front of the venue, and all the people gathered around us, and my teacher was completely, she was crying all the time, and she just kept saying, Max, what did we do? And I wasn't much better. I was so confused, I didn't know what's happening, I was so happy and confused. And the first sentence that she said, my teacher, when she called the music school director, she said, "We reached the stars."